everyone, so welcome to another reading vlog. So it is Friday evening, I am starting the reading vlog. I have a pizza in the oven, a cat who is waking up now, and I have some reading plans for you guys. So this book is not on my October TBR, but as I always say, my October TBR is a pile of possibilities, and it always happens every single month that I have like a book coming my way, for example, or a book that I'm like already reading that I forget to put on that pile of possibilities. And in this case, that it would be Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. So I don't know why I forgot about this book. I didn't necessarily forget about it, but why I forgot to put it on my pile of possibilities, because like I was on a book buying ban. I bought this book regardless. So the reason that I bought this book regardless was the fact that I couldn't wait to read it. So I actually already started it last night. Good news is it is only 240 pages. So Susanna Clarke I have a weird experience with, because her previous work, why can I not come up with the beginning of this title? It actually just begins with the names, right? There's nothing in front of it. So previous work, Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, is a like 900-page book or something like that, a fantasy book of like close to 900 pages that was extremely boring for the first 600 pages, or at least for me as a teenager when I read that book. But then I read the final 300 pages because my friend was like, you need to keep going, it gets very good in the end, you need to push through it. And I did, and then I loved those final 300 pages. And as a result, I can no longer DNF books now. And so I'm very interested to dive into her latest work, and since it's very short, I'm actually definitely hoping that it's going to be more like those final 300 pages of Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. But so yeah, I started it, but I'm only like 17 pages into this one, so it's not like I actually know a whole lot of what's happening, but it definitely has already been quite interesting to dive into it, because it's like this sort of infinite house that has an infinite number of rooms, and it's like got these different levels that seem to represent like all of the low levels are underwater, and then the upper levels are the ones that are like in the sky. And yeah, it's very interesting already to see what's kind of happening. I very much like the idea of like the tide coming in and like the visual representation of that. I think it's a book that I've so far had a very visual experience with. I probably have already said this in a couple of vlogs, but usually I'm not a very visual reader, so it's very rare for me to have a sort of visual representation of what is taking place on the page in my head, and so I've been having that experience very much with what has been written down already in those 17 pages. So looking forward to it, and we'll give you an update later, but for now I'm just going to be having some pizza. I think I'm going to watch an episode of J.R.R. at the moment, and then dive into some more reading later on this evening. Isn't it the best when the mailman shows up? So I wasn't expecting for mail to arrive on a Saturday, because like it's the regular post I think that delivers these packages, though it was the guy who always delivers my Bol.com packages, so I don't know what this is, if it isn't what I think it is, but it should be. I mean, I don't have anything else coming this way, but I am super happy that they're here, because I was really sad that they didn't arrive yesterday. And like, I guess when people do these type of things, they prepare by actually cutting the box already. It is actually coming from a totally different place than what I was expecting, so it's not what I was hoping for. This is going to be such a disappointment. What is this? Ow. It is what I thought it was, but why is it coming? It's confusion. I thought these were coming from the UK, but apparently they're coming from the Netherlands. I didn't know that Book Depository also had a Netherlands location. I'm gonna give you close-ups in just a second, but it's gorgeous and heavy. Alright, so I've been accused of not respecting my book buying ban, but these do not count because I've already read them. But I might, so I'm hopeful to do a reread of them in the coming months, and these are, oh Jesus, this is so heavy. Ooh, The Lord of the Rings. So this is a gorgeous edition that I'll definitely include a much nicer shot of for you guys. But yeah, I'm just so excited that they're finally here. I doubted a lot about which editions I wanted, but I ended up with this ones because they're just too gorgeous, and they have illustrations by Alan Lee, who also did the illustrations for the movies. But so for October. For October, the Fellowship of the Rings would be on my TBR, and it has this gorgeous Rivendell illustration at the front, and then the trolls on the back. And so it also has the map in here. I am so happy with these editions, and I'm so happy I got them now, which is a nice little treat for my Saturday. So I'm gonna be including some like clips in one of my B-rolls for this reading vlog of the rest of the editions. But so yeah, this is just a short pre-glimpse. You don't have to wait for long to see the rest of them. So for now, I don't remember what I updated you guys on yesterday, but so yesterday basically did almost no reading. I just read like a little bit further into Disability Visibility, which I will probably be finishing on Sunday. And then I am now, like, I'm just watching a little bit of BookTube now, and then I'm going to be diving into Piranesi. Sunday afternoon. I am just back from my parents' place, and we are debating whether we will be able to go on holiday in November. I was normally going to go on like a family holiday for once with like my parents, my sister and her children, but due to current circumstances we are most likely going to try and get our trip to Portugal cancelled, which is the second trip to Portugal that I'm cancelling this year. But so I'm going to be shifting my reading a little bit today, because I had kind of low-key made these plans for myself in order to be able to finish The Lord of the Rings and Rebecca as rereads for this month. I was going to like listen to 2 chapters in the evening for The Lord of the Rings, and then be finished with that before the half of the month, and then do Rebecca afterwards. afterwards in the second half of this month, and then I was going to try and finish Piranesi as well tonight and Disability Visibility. But a friend of mine just asked whether we want to have a movie night, and like, yeah, we haven't met up in the past couple of weeks. She is part of my bubble. In Belgium we are allowed a bubble of 5 people with whom we're allowed to have close contact. She is the 5th person in my bubble. And so it's been a while. We are watching a series of unfortunate events together and having some dinner together, so my evening reading plans are basically destroyed now. But I like being able to have these sort of impromptu plans because I haven't met up with my friends almost at all this year. There's been so few occasions. I think even with her, even though she is in my bubble of 5, I've been able like to meet up like, I don't know, 4 times in total or something this year so far. So yeah, I definitely haven't been socializing a lot this year. So I will be talking about one book that I did finish this weekend already, and that is Disability Visibility. So this is an anthology, an essay collection edited by Alice Wong. So this is a first-person narration collection of essays by people who have disabilities, but it's like very broad scale. So like it's not just physical disabilities, we definitely also have like some autism rep in here, for example, some like sicknesses such as cancer, for example, and other things like that. We have visible disabilities, we have people who have visibilities that aren't immediately visible, we have intersectionality as well, with race, with gender identities and all of those things. I very much enjoyed it. You can probably see as well that I heavily tapped this one, and I really enjoyed it. I really thought it had some very interesting essays in there, and that like in almost all of them there was something in there that I found noteworthy and that I could learn from, or that I can recognize certain things about. And so definitely do recommend this one if you want to go into that disability a little bit more, or if you just want to be a little bit more aware of the everyday like realities that certain people with disabilities live through. But so yeah, I am like, she'll be here in less than an hour, and I think that I'm going to be listening to another chapter of The Lord of the Rings. So it is Wednesday evening and I am giving you guys another update, but I should really learn to just give my cats a little bit of attention before I talk to you guys because they are now craving attention. Yeah. So I am currently in the middle of a couple of books again. October is no different from September so far, but mainly I have been focusing on 3 books. So I've been focusing on Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. This has been my sort of like commute book, and so I work from home half of the week and I work from the office the other half. So I've had 2 days this week in which I was working from the office. So those 2 days I've been listening to the audiobook while I've been going to work, and then also when I go to physical therapy or when I go to my parents. So for the rest of the week I probably won't be reading in this book, so I think I'm just gonna leave my update about it for next week's vlog. But so the 2 books that I am currently like picking up more is Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. So this is actually the beautiful cover, the beautiful naked cover of this hardback edition. So in this we are following our protagonist Piranesi. Piranesi is living in this sort of house. It's a very weird setting. So it's a house that has like all of these different rooms, but these rooms vary in sizes, and they have all of these statues in them, these abandoned statues, and at different times in the days there will be these tides coming in which will flood certain rooms, and in this house there are only dead people, Piranesi and the other, and Piranesi is actually the name that the other gives him. And as we are going through this book, we are definitely uncovering certain secrets, and we are uncovering that not everything is as we imagine it to be, or as Piranesi imagines the world to be. And all of this mystery and all of this kind of unraveling of the mystery starts when a new person enters the house. But so I'm not going to say too much about it because yeah, it definitely isn't a very long one. So it's 245 pages in it, and so a lot of the joy in this book is in uncovering what is happening and coming up with your own theories surrounding what is happening. Very much enjoying it so far. So I am at the like 170 page point, so I have like 75 pages to go. I don't know whether I'll be finishing it within this reading vlog, because that would still be like 75 pages for today. So maybe I can do it, but I also still need to edit and upload a video for tonight that needs to be up in 2 hours. Procrastination can be a bitch. And then the other book that I'm currently focusing on is The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien. So this is one of my 2 rereads that I want to prioritize in October. So this and Rebecca will be my plan. So I have a very fixed plan for this one. So it should finish on Sunday, the 10th of October, and then I will be switching over to Rebecca. But so I have mainly been, I think I think I've been quite vigilant about it. I have read 3 chapters every single day. I think I read 4 at one day, and like I'm including prologue and stuff like that as a chapter. And so I am now 1 chapter away from reaching the midway point of the story, from reaching Rivendell. So I am halfway through the book, which is very nice progress for me only starting this on the 3rd of October. But so for tonight I am hopefully going to be landing in the middle of the Council of Elrond. For tonight I'm hopefully landing in the middle of the Council of Elrond scene, so I don't think I'm going to be reading that full chapter in its entirety in one day, because it is like 2 hours on the audiobook. It is an extremely long chapter. But so yeah, I must say that I'm very much enjoying my reread of this. I'm quite surprised with it, just because I remember liking The Lord of the Rings but not really being blown away by it. So like I wasn't surprised, I wasn't expecting the sort of like nostalgia that I now have with reading this, because I'm definitely like very much eagerly anticipating getting around to certain scenes from the movies. Like definitely the movies are still my point of reference for this one, and so I am definitely noting a lot of times when shifts has happened where certain quotes are being moved around within the storyline. There are actually quite a lot of quotes that are given at the very beginning of this book that were then shifted to later points within the movie version of this. And there's definitely a lot of extra stuff in the books, of course, but I'm definitely like my nostalgia for the movies is definitely pushing me through this book, and that's not mean like I don't mean that in a negative way. I don't mean like it's just the books, the movies that are keeping me intrigued in this book, but the movies are definitely giving me an extra push, and I'm finding myself enjoying it a lot more than I thought I had the first time. So I'm very happy with the fact that I'm going through with this reread now. Like, if this read-along hadn't been there, I think it would have been something that I would have like kept on my, I will reread it at some point, but it's really not a priority because I love the movies more than the books. But I'm very much liking this reread. I'm very much finding myself enjoying the books alongside the like memory of the movies in my head. So yeah, will be very interesting to see what happens when I get to the second book, for example, because I remember that whole second part of that second book was just torture. So it'll be very interesting to see how I go into that, knowing what is ahead of me this time around. While I'm very happy that I'm enjoying this reread, the reread is not my priority for this month. I definitely want to make a dent in my unread TBR. So I'm very happy about enjoying this reread part of my daily reading, but it can never take over from my other reading. I'm trying to prevent myself from doing that. It's time for me to go and edit and upload a video now. I procrastinated on this yesterday evening because I wanted to continue with The Lord of the Rings at that time, and yeah, now I pay the price for it. So hopefully I was quite eloquent in that video and I don't need to cut out too many pauses and stuff like that, because otherwise I might not meet my 6:30 deadline.